Hey everyone, and welcome to Chasing Growth. If you want to continue growing, if you want to continue moving forward, these videos are for you, and I'm happy to do it. And I hope some way these videos are helping you to keep growing, to keep moving forward. Today I want to talk about a routine. See, all of us have routines. All of us, we like it or not, we have a routine. We do things during the day. The problem is that many times these routines are created by accident, by circumstances, and a lot of times they're not something that you create to help you to accomplish your goals, to help you to accomplish the destiny that you want to reach. So I want to invite you today to create a routine, and I want to show you maybe the way to do it, the way to create a routine to help you to achieve what you want to achieve. The other thing with routines is that many people, when you talk about it, they think there's something boring. It's something that boring people does, it's not spontaneous, it's repetitive, it's always the same. But the truth is, if you're having a routine that's helping you to reach your full potential, that's helping you to advance in the direction you want to go, you have a routine that is taking you toward the goals that you want to achieve, there's nothing boring about it. There's nothing that is super, it will be very fun for you. It will be something that will fill you so much. And again, so many people just let these routines be created by circumstances, by accident, and by all kinds of things, but never very proactive to create a routine that's taking them to the destination they want to arrive eventually in their life. Now, we all have this resource which is called time, but we also, every moment, every day, we lose in time, and that's why having a routine is so important. So, how to create a routine? So if you hear that, probably the first inclination is just to grab your schedule, your calendar, and start putting things in your calendar. And the problem is that when we do that, a lot of things can be important, and when everything is important, nothing is important. So you, first of all, before you start creating a routine for you, you have to identify what is important for you. Personally, I have 5 things that's important for me. First, my relationship with God. Is very important for me to cultivate, to spend time on that, to work into my relationship with God, my friendship with God. And again, it's very important for me. It's one of the things that I highly value. Then other thing that I highly value is my wife. It's very important for me. It's very important my relationship with her, love her, show her that I love her, and cultivate our relationship too. So that's the second thing. The third thing, and it's in my case, this may not be your case, is my children. I have 3 kids, and I like to make sure that they are part of this routine that I have every day. And then my ministry. I have the opportunity to work in ministry, and what I do is to take the message around the world, all over the place. And the fact that I can be part of that is very fulfilling. But I got to be very intentional to remind myself that this is important. And then the final thing is myself. And let me tell you a lot of why this is important to think about yourself. If you're not filling up your own self, if you're not building up, if you're not learning, if you're not growing, you really are an empty vessel for somebody else. So you're not helping anybody. So you have to constantly be filling yourself with knowledge, with experience, with different things to become better, so that people around you can be better. So those are my 5. I call it my 5, and it's God first, my wife, my children, my ministry, and then myself. Then what you need to find before you start setting like a routine for your days is, what is your purpose? See, all these things are important, but these things are nothing to do with your purpose. They're part of it, but to some extent, but your purpose can be completely different. For example, your purpose can be to teach people to be better, like something like we do here in these videos. And every day you wake up and what you want to do is to help people to see themselves to the right life with Christ. Or you want to be somebody who teach people about having a great relationship with God. Or you want to just tell people about different things about business, whatever your purpose is. And that actually can be your ministry, is that main thing, the very important, is just the number one thing, the one thing that you're going to have to, when you start creating that routine, you're going to have to dedicate the most of the time to it. When you find those things, what is important to you, and you find your purpose, you can start setting up a routine in your day hour by hour, including these things, so these things are attended, but at the same time you focus the most energy into that purpose, that one thing that you want to do. Now, the key on this is to start small. A lot of time it's like the New Year's resolution. People want to go and do it right away and start kind of doing the diet, going 100 calories per day, and it's impossible. And eventually you end up hitting a wall and you're not able to continue. So you have to start small. So when I'm talking about routine, I don't want you to grab your calendar and start putting all these kind of things, and I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, and blah, blah, blah. It won't work. So what you need to do, you identify those 5 things. If you already know what is your purpose, you have it. You say, okay, I need to set my day to at least these things that are important for me and my purpose every day get some time from me. Get some, you're able to invest your time and not just waste it. So, for example, every morning, for me, it's very important, my relationship with God. So I spend time with God every day. And that started with 5 minutes years ago. Only 5 minutes. And now it's a little longer and include more things. With time, this also have become a time of meditation and a time for encouraging myself. So something that I learned many years ago from Craig Rochelle was about having this declaration in the mornings. And I create my, when I listen to things that I think they're good, I apply it to my life. And I create this document when I tell myself different things about my purpose, about what are the 5 things that I value and they're important for me, so I remind myself. So this is very important to be able to say this every day for me. But it started with 5 minutes. And now I have a whole document that sometimes I read and I have pretty much memorized, and also include the things that I want to pray for God, include the things, the goals that I have, and also the dreams that I have. And I share it with God every day. So that declaration, I pretty much is a daily thing, but this part of my routine started with 5 minutes. Didn't start with an hour, and it's very important to remember that. So then through the day, in this routine that you're creating, there's different things that you do, how you set up your timings to do one thing or another. You remember the important things, you make sure they're there, that you include them, so you don't miss them, so you don't pay a high price. For example, many people say, hey, my purpose in life is ministry, and they work in ministry and do all these things, but they never set up a routine with what is important for them. And sometimes because the ministry, or for the sake of ministry, they end up leaving their kids, their wife to the side. And we hear a lot of pastors or ministers, they're losing their families, they're getting into divorce because they were not able to set up a great routine that includes what is important and the purpose. Now, when you are able to create a routine and you put in those things that are important for you, the one that is your purpose, the one that is the thing that you want to do, when you can clarify this, it may take years for you to clarify what is your purpose. That's fine. But when you start clarifying, you have that clarified in your life, you want to set the big amount of time of the day, turn that. Now, there's some people who say that have to be 4 hours, and I will say maybe hard for you to start with 4 hours, but start with 30 minutes and make sure that it's happening. The key is consistency. The more that you repeat these routines, the more this is more predictable. There will be things that you don't have to be thinking about how to do it or when to do it and when to take care of the children, when to be with my wife, when to do this, when to do that. It will be happen automatically. So when the time comes to focus on the one thing that is important for you, that purpose, that thing that you have been created for, you're gonna be able to do it and dedicate that to all your mind, all your attention to it without distractions. Now, remember, building a routine need to start small. I don't want you to go and jump and start writing, putting a whole thing, and I'm gonna do all these things. No, just start, we identify what is important, maybe making sure that those 5 things every day get attended, and then that purpose get a little bit more of the time, and that's it. Now, one of the things that's going to happen, a lot of things are going to come against this. A lot of things are going to come to distract you, and you have to learn to say no, and to say no to friends, to say no to people. Because when you want to do this, everything in the world don't work this way. They want your distraction. We call it entertainment. And you want you to be distracted, when you're watching TV, news, programs, and all that stuff. And all those things come to distract you. So you have to be very intentional about your routine and be very strong about keeping it. And that's why it's so important to start small. So let's say you identify your 5 things, or I would say don't identify more than 5. Five important things is enough. If everything is important, nothing is important. So I will say 5 is enough. And then you have your purpose. And you say, I'm going to dedicate every day 1 hour to my purpose in life. And then I'm going to start doing 15 minutes for the important things. At least every day you're going to be able to do and make sure that you're taking care of what is important and your purpose. Eventually that can grow, and you can go to the 4 hours and more, and you can start blocking time. You can start making your schedule so you really dedicate time to these things that are important and dedicate time to your purpose. But what is the key? Why is it so important to start small? Because consistency is the key. If you don't do it consistent, if you're not consistent in this, eventually you're gonna start losing it. It won't happen. There will be days when nothing happened, and then you're gonna be okay with it, and eventually you go back to where you were, and just having a routine that is an accident, a routine that is just happening, and you don't know where that routine is taking you. And that includes everything. So identify what is important. In my case, it's God, my wife, my children, my ministry, and myself. And again, myself, it has to do with cultivating myself physically, mentally, and every aspect possible to be better, to become better, and like that. So every area have their own things that I know I need to make sure to touch those areas every day to cultivate those, because they're important. And then the majority of my time I spend it focusing on my purpose. Consistency is the key. So I hope this helped you, because you and we have a resource, and it's time, and we are losing it. Every moment, every second, we are just losing it. If we're not using our time correctly, and we don't have a routine, we are wasting our time. Things are happening, you sit down and watch hours of TV, and the day is gone. You say you don't have time to exercise, you don't have time for God, you don't have time for this. And I'm telling you, that's probably not truth. No, it's just you lying to yourself, allowing yourself to have a routine. The one, you don't know where it's taking you, and probably to some extent is self-destructive in so many ways. You can say also the excuse of, well, we're so busy with children. Listen, I have 3 kids. I know you can be busy, but it's not true either. It's all about setting up the right routine, identifying what is important, and learning to say no, and keep it that consistency, repeating every day. Eventually, those things will come out so automatically. There are gonna be days when you're not gonna follow this routine, and that's okay. There's days that you can have that Sunday when you do something completely different, that weekend, that vacation, and that's very important too. However, overall, the consistency of this routine will take you where you want to be. Where you want to be, it won't happen automatically. You have big dreams, you want things, you want to progress, you want to advance, you want to grow. It won't happen just because you want it. You have to get into a process, and that process is called routine. I hope this helped you and motivate you to start working in that routine. If you don't have it, start working on it. And if you have questions about it, you want to discuss about having a routine, please email me. I will be happy to help you. And keep watching these videos, subscribe, like, and share. And thank you very much for watching today. God bless you, and start creating a routine that will take you to the place where you want to be in the future. Have a great day.